Hello and welcome to the Knitterarium podcast. My name is Ruth, your host, and I'm a knitwear designer here in Westmeath in Ireland, where this podcast is coming to you from. Today is Wednesday the 13th of September and this is episode 28. Welcome back to all returning viewers and welcome to any new viewers. It is lovely as always to have you, and I appreciate you all taking some time out of your day to spend it with me. A little bit of admin news first now. The places that you can find me are on my website, Knitterarium.com. You can find me on Instagram as Knitterarium. I would be the most active on Instagram. You will find daily posts really there, if not twice daily. You will also find us in our Ravelry group, Knitterarium. So if you just search under the groups tab on Ravelry for Knitterarium, you will find us. You will find all the links for those down below there so that they're easy for you to access. You will also find down below in the description box the show notes for this episode, and you'll also find the show notes in a separate thread in the Ravelry group. And the Ravelry group is a good place to chat some more with other members. So it is there's an introduction thread and a chatter thread. We have an ask me anything thread, lots of different threads going on there. There's also the knit along threads happen in there, as well as any giveaway threads. And I know next month is my podiversary, so that will be the place that will be happening in. Currently also in our Ravelry group we have the You Are Amazing Shawl Knit Along running. Now this is our penultimate Shawl Knit Along for this year. This year in Knitterarium was the year of you. So we have celebrated it every 2 months with a new Shawl Knit Along. And we are currently in the You Are Amazing Shawl Knit Along. And as I said, it's the penultimate one. It started on the 1st of September and it runs until that's going backwards. It runs until October 31st. So you just pick your favourite Knitterarium shawl, you come along and join in the fun and the chatter. There will be a link to the chatter thread down below there so that it's easy for you to find. And we have 2 prizes again for this shawl knit along. The first prize we have is this beautiful skein of yarn from down Sheepy Lane. There is it. This is 75% blue face Leicester and 25% nylon, and this is the skein of yarn. So this is the skein of yarn that is one of the prizes for the You Are Amazing Shawl Knit Along, and the other prize is this beautiful project bag. This project bag is from Rick Rack Room on Etsy. From Rick Rack Room on Etsy. So it's this beautiful pale pink with these little buzzy bees and this beautiful blue fabric. So they are the 2 prizes that we have for this current shawl knit along, and you are most welcome to come along and to join in the fun. We'd love to have you. So that is all the admin news out of the way. We will grab our knitting and we'll get comfy and we'll get started with the inside world of Knitterarium. Now, I'm trying to think what did I do this week? Yes. I worked on a new design that's coming up, hopefully in the middle of next month. It's been housed in this gorgeous emerald fibres bag. Now this is a collaboration I am working on with Victoria from Eden Cottage Yarns, and if you are a long time viewer you will know of my love of the yarn. So the chance to work with Victoria was just something I couldn't pass up. The collection I've been speaking about for the last number of weeks, that is coming out next week, and there is going to be news of that in my newsletter. You're able to sign up for that on my website, but I'll put a link for that down below as well. And so updates will be coming for that and on Instagram as well. So if you keep an eye out there, you will see on the run up to the release of that collection. That's a new 3 shawl collection, and that will be coming out next week, so it will. And that is a collaboration I've been working on with Victoria from Eden Cottage Yarns as well. So I'm going to say no more about that, but we will be having a giveaway next week as well. So that's just a little heads up. So anyway, the current design that I'm working on, this one is called Oceans of Time. And the yarns I'm using for this are, I'll try and get them up together. This is my colour palette for this design. So this yarn here is Coal. It is the tightest 4-ply yarn from Eden Cottage Yarns, and the tightest 4-ply is, I want to make sure I give the right details. It is 75% merino and 25% silk. So that's the tightest 4-ply, this one here. This is Coal. And you'll see that there's beautiful gold flecks throughout it. So it's not just a solid black. Then I am pairing with that this Autumn Fields colourway. This is Milburn 4-ply, and the Milburn 4-ply is, it's blue face Leicester, isn't it? Yeah, it's 85% blue face Leicester and 15% silk. That's the Autumn Fields. And then this beautiful aubergine purple is Black Tulip. And again, that is the Milburn 4-ply. And the Black Tulip is, if you've ever seen black tulips in the garden, it is that exact colour, so it is. So that's the colour palette that I'm working on at the moment for this new design. Now, this past weekend was a working weekend. I was working on this design non-stop because I really wanted to get it, finished and out and ready for you all to hopefully enjoy. Shall I give a quick sneak peek? I think we will. I've finished the main body of this, and at the weekend, if you're following me on Instagram, I was working on the lace section of this. So I've now moved on to the border, and I'm very nearly finished that. I just needed to get time to work on that. So I am knitting this on my 3.5 Chiaogu needles. So I'm going to give you just a quick sneak peek look at this, okay? Ready? Okay. That's the sneak peek, so it is. I will be able to show it to you in a couple of weeks. It should be nearly off the needles, and it is it's really quite bunched up on the needles. Like, this is it from the back, so it is. This is it, all bunched up on the needles. So, as I said, I spent the weekend working on that. It was a working weekend. I think that might be maybe my last working weekend for a while, but yeah, that's what I spent a good bit of time on that. As I said, I wanted to have it. The light just seems to be. I spent half an hour going around the house trying to find a spot that wasn't too bright and wasn't too dark. Last week it was so dark I had to turn on the lights, and this week I have the opposite problem. So if that's just the sun is coming in and out of the windows behind me. So that was what I spent the majority of my weekend working on. Now, as I said, that is the Oceans of Time design, and it is going to be coming out around mid-October is the rough idea for release of that at the moment. The other thing I did at the weekend was I spent a lot of time on some new sock patterns. I had some new ideas that I wanted to work through, and I spent a chunk of Saturday working out some charts and instructions for some new sock designs, and I'm hoping I'm going to have a Christmas sock design ready for you in time. Hopefully I'm going to get started on that one, and then I have a few more ideas. So there are, if it is socks that are your thing, I have some socks that I will have for you all. Let me see what else. yes, the other thing I was working on. See, I did tell you it was a very work-ended weekend. So it was in my gorgeous Craft House Magic little woodland bag. Oh, I love this bag. Really, because it's got hedgehogs on it. I found some new someone with some new hedgehog fibre, Karina from Strand Designs, and she'd gotten some new autumn fabrics, and there was hedgehogs on one, and I saw it and I was like, I messaged her. I couldn't even wait for her to make them, put them into her shop. I was like, could I have a bag of the with the hedgehogs? I'm really bad, but she said yes. That was a digression. That should be in Treasure Trove. But anyway, in this bag, I charted out a new design, and it will be in this beautiful silvery grey colour, and then this gorgeous woodland colour, and I will hopefully be starting that this week, because I'm very nearly finished the border on the new shawl design, Oceans of Time. So I should be starting this. I'm not going to say what it is just yet. I'm going to wait until I start it, and that I will be able to show you. I'll be able to show you that as I'm working through it. So that should make this section a little bit more exciting for you. I feel bad always having this section because I can talk and I can tell and show so much but I don't want to show too much. It's such a tricky one to find the balance in. But this design I will be able to show you more, and I will be able to tell you the name of this one and everything. I need to just do a swatch up for that this week. Just as soon as I'm finished that, I might actually do the swatch before I finish Oceans of Time, just so that I can get started on it straight away. That was an idea that has been brewing around for a while. So I have picked those two colours. They are, I forgot to mention, they are Eden Cottage yarns, Tempo 4-ply. The green is Woodland and the silver is Echinops. That's the one that I was wondering if I was pronouncing it right. So I will be casting those on. Let me see, what else have we got in. I think that's all, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. We will move on now into what's on my needles. So, on my needles, here we are, they're in front of me. You might remember I was finishing off the toe up version of the the Wildflower Honey. I'm sorry, I have Woodland in my head now. The Wildflower Honey socks. And these are them here. I finished the second toe up one. So you see, I do have two. These are the two of the Wildflower Honey socks. So I finished those off this week. They were in a bag, and I seem to have so many other things I was working on and they were so close to finish, and there was no reason for them to be still on the needles. So I put everything aside for this past week, and I worked on them. That was it. Got them done. These are the toe up version. You can knit them toe up and or cuff down. So there is one by one rib, and then we have the Wildflower Honey pattern here. Now this yarn that I've done these in, these are the same sample colours. So this yellow is Summer Harvest from Eden Cottage Yarns on the Oakworth 4-ply base. And then for the contrast on these, this is the Wool Barn and this is Rose Garden. And I might just pick it up. It is a lightly speckled yarn of pinks and greens and yellows, just on a very pale natural base. It has heel flap and gusset, and then it has the matching contrasting toe to the heel and here. So there's just this amount that is patterning, and then it is just plain vanilla. So there's just enough to add interest, and then you just have just just plain knit, knit, knit. And there is currently a knit along running. It is running to, I think it has another 2 weeks. I will put the date up here for that, for when it ends. That is an Instagram only knit along for this pattern that is running. That is currently running. The knit along is currently running. Yeah. Does that make sense? I think it made sense. So I did finish these off during the week. I had one already done, so really I only finished one sock, so, but it's still a finished object because I have the two of them now. As I normally knit my socks cuff down, I still have to find my favorite cast off for toe up socks. On these ones I used the Jenny's stretchy bind off, so I did. But I was just wondering, do you have a favorite bind off for toe up socks, and what is it? Because I think I want to try a few and see which one is my favorite, which one do I like the best. And really any of them, once they're a stretchy bind off, will work for the pattern. So I have those. The only other thing that I have actively worked on, if I reach over and grab it, the only other thing I've actively worked on this week has been again, another pair of wildflower honey socks that I'm knitting for the knit along that I was mentioning. These are my car project bag. This is it here. This beautiful bag is from Busy Pottering on Etsy. Okay, so I printed out the pattern so I'd have it to at least show you the picture. I just turn it around and I'll show you. There we go. So this is the picture of the wildflower honey socks, and these are the socks that I am experimenting with magic loop on, that I was mentioning last week. So I decided I was going to try magic loop for these. I've been talking about it for a while and I just didn't get around to it. And after getting the Chowgoo mini sock set, I thought now is just, what could be a more perfect time to just try it out. So I did, and I have to say I like it. Yeah, it's I'm doing the toe up version. I just started with the toe up version. I just thought the toe would be toe up on DPN. Starting it off can be just a little fiddly, and it is less fiddly. It is less fiddly for when you use a magic loop. That I will say. It's doable. It's not that it's not doable on DPNs, it is, but it is just a little bit more fiddly. So I did find starting off the toe on the toe up version with the magic loop, that was much easier. And I have to say, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm really flying through them. This is sock 1. Now the yarns I'm using in this version, this here for contrast is Eden Cottage yarns in Temple 4-ply, and it is the Rambling Rose. Now the Temple 4-ply base is 75% wool and 25% nylon. So I'm using that Rambling Rose, if we can get in closer, as the contrast colour. And then for the main colour on this sock, I am using, this is the Wool Barn again, and it is their luxury plump sock base, and it is Sugar Rush. Now this yarn is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere and 10% nylon, and it's a very pale pink base with, you'll see, just lots of lovely speckles. And that's the wonderful thing about the wildflower honey pattern, because the majority of it is a plain vanilla with the just this amount of patterning here. This part works perfect for those speckled yarns, and this is brilliant for just the complementing solid colour. I'm losing my words. The complementing solid colour. So this was sock 1. I forgot to put a progress marker on this. this was to tell me that this was the front. I put that on at the start, just to remind myself. So yeah, this was sock one. I do know I was just a little bit into the foot part. I had done the toe and I was just a little bit into the foot part. So I have finished the gusset increases for this, and I'm just going to work the heel turn and the heel flap now on it, and I will be working it in the Rambling Rose. And I have those yarns here. So this is the Sugar Rush from the Wool Barn, and then this is Rambling Rose on the Temple 4-ply from Eden Cottage Yarns. So this is Rambling Rose, and then this one is Sugar Rush. So that's the two yarns that I'm using. So that is sock one. I am knitting this on 2.25 Chow Goose. As I said, this is from the mini sock set. Now I am using, I think this is the 75 centimeter cable. They didn't have the 55 centimeter cable. Oh, one came in the set. I'm saying that wrong. One came in the set. But because I like to knit my socks concurrently, I needed to pick up an extra cable, and they didn't have 55 centimeters in stock at the time. They did have 75. So I got an extra 75, and I got an extra set of 2.25 tips, and then I was able to knit both of my socks concurrently, because that's how I like to knit them. I do think that the 55 centimeter cable will be long enough. Although I can manage with this one, I think I might enjoy the slightly smaller cable a little bit more. I know, because I ordered these from Loop, I did go back and check, and they had gotten the 55 centimeter cables in. So I picked up, another one of the 55 centimeter cables to go along with the one I have in my set. So I should be, on my next set of socks, I am going to try the 55 centimeter cable and see how I like that, see how it goes. So this is sock 2. While I'm rabbiting on, I should really show you the sock. This is sock 2. I had just the toe done of this, and I have started on the foot of this. So yeah, this is knitting up. I love all the speckles that are in this. It's lovely. So yeah, this is knitting up well. I'm really enjoying it. Once I get the gusset increases done on this, then I'm going to work both heel turns and heel flaps on the socks. I don't know, am I going to, some people said that they switched to DPNs for working the heel turn and heel flap. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to work that, but hopefully by next week I'll have figured that out. Hopefully by next week I'll have figured that out for you. Or I'll have figured it out for myself too, which one I'm going to do. I may just use my DPNs for that part and then switch back to knitting it in the round. We'll see. Was there anything else I was going to say about these? As I said, these are my car knitting project for school runs, with school being back now, and I have the pickups to do. I'm all tangled up with the yarn. I am knitting these. That's why so much progress has been made on these this week, because I had a working weekend. I didn't get any progress made on my Grace cardigan, and I didn't make any progress at all on my shawl, on my Sive shawl, which I'm knitting for the You Are Amazing shawl knit along in the group as well. I didn't make any progress on those because I was just I had a working weekend. So that's really why the socks got work on them at all. It's because they came with me in the car, and I find them the easiest to work on and to concentrate on. Although now the Grace cardigan is just on the stockinette part, I could be able to bring that with me in the car. That would make a good knitting project. So that really is the only thing that I have been working on that is on my needles. There is no point in me taking out Sive or Grace and showing them to you because I've made zero progress on them. So we will move straight on into Treasure Trove. Tea this week is peppermint tea as normal. That's what I have. Just put these to one side. Okay, in Treasure Trove, I spotted on Ellie of Craft House Magic that she was putting together a kit with Lay Family Yarn on Etsy. They were putting together a gingerbread kit. I think it was just gingerbread kit. So I kept an eye out on Etsy, on both of their Etsy shops, and I was able to nab it's the Gingerbread Man sock set. And so the kit has this Gingerbread Man sock set. This is the yarn. This is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina. So I don't know, is it going to pick it up? The little you might in this beautiful gingerbread color, the flecks of gold throughout it. So this is the yarn, and along with it comes this little mini. There is 20 grams of a mini in this, and it's the same. It is the same content. It's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina, and there is the contrasting yarn. So this is the gingerbread yarn. So you'll see that is the yarn. And then Ellie made, to go along with that, this really, really cute gingerbread man bag. Isn't that just gorgeous? It's beautiful. Oh look, it's got these lovely tinkling bells on the zipper. So it's in this beautiful candy cane stripe with this beautiful appliqued gingerbread man on. And it came with lots of lovely gingerbread goodies, which have been scoffed and they're gone. And some gingerbread tea, which I'm looking forward to trying that one out. I think I might like that one. So this is Ellie's label inside her bag, and this is the fantastic lining inside it. So this is beautiful. This is sock bag size. So I'm thinking this would be perfect for putting the sock pattern I'm going to be working on for Christmas. I think that's going to be perfect for putting into that. So that was the kit that I happened to that I picked up. I just saw that and I liked it. I thought it was fantastic. The other thing I picked up on, sorry, I'm just looking for the note for the name of the shop. I want to be sure I give you the right name. J&M's on Etsy had an update, and they had this absolutely gorgeous bee bag on it. Isn't it just gorgeous? It's got this beautiful grey. I don't know fabrics well enough to tell you what sort of fabric it is, but it's got this beautiful grey fabric at the bottom with this beautiful cream and yellow bumblebee fabric, and a beautiful yellow zip with a lovely grey leather pull, and it's just, the whole thing together just is lovely. And inside is this gorgeous yellow gingham fabric. I just love this. I think it's lovely. And Jo also made this beautiful matching, and look, she personalized it for me. This beautiful, she made this little pouch to go with the order, and it's filled with lavender. Oh, it's gorgeous. So I have that inside, so the whole bag smells beautifully of lavender now. It's lovely. So that's J&M's on Etsy. And as I said, down below in the description box there'll be links to all these for you so that you can find them. That bag was so cute, it was lovely. And as I mentioned, I have the hedgehog bag coming to me from Karina from Strand Designs because it had hedgehogs on it and I had to order it. The last bit I have for Treasure Trove is some yarns from Mr. B of Bird Street UK. They're on Etsy, Bird Street UK Etsy. There'll be a link down below as well to that. So this was the Hope Cove series. I think that's the series. I don't think that that's the base. It's Hope Cove. So there's 3 different types of yarns in them, and I think this is. Sorry, I'm wrestling with them, trying to get them all up. So these are the 3 yarns here. Okay, so this one here, we'll look at this one first. This one is, it's the Hope Cove on the rocks. I was reading it wrong. On the rocks, it's called. So it's this beautiful speckled colour with these beautiful maroony purples in with turquoise. And look at those 2 colours together, and they're gorgeous. And it's kind of like on a pale bluey grey background colour. Now this is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and there is 425 meters per skein. But there is Mr. B, and so that one is on the rocks. This one is Incoming Tide. So this is a lot more of a turquoise colour, and it's just got a few speckles throughout it of darker greens and turquoises throughout it. That one is Incoming Tide, and again it's the same 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And the third one in the series was Clouded Skies. So then this one is much deeper. It's much deeper. It is blue, darker blues and small speckles of turquoises, and the odd dash of that beautiful dark maroony purple colour. So these work quite well for, I suppose, for a fade, if you want to say. I didn't get them to work in particular to work a fade. I just happened to like the 3 of them together. They go together in a series, and I just thought they were lovely. I may not even knit these together, the 3 together in one project, but I did think they were lovely. So yeah, I got those. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those yet, so I'm going to have a think about those because they're absolutely gorgeous, and I don't want to rush into just using them on anything. So that's all I have for you in Treasure Trove. We will move on into Chitty Chit Chat. Chitty Chit Chat this week. What have we got? Well, as I said, I've had a working weekend, so we didn't really do a whole lot. The weather was terrible. Today is the first really bright day we've had all week. It's been pouring rain, dreadful rain, and it's been so dark and gloomy, so it wasn't really the weather for doing anything anyway, so that didn't help either. Plus everybody is tired. They're all back to school, and it takes a week for everybody to just settle into the new routine and the earlier mornings and the longer, busier days, and so it takes them a little while just to settle into that. So they were all tired, so we had an easy weekend of it, which it worked in my favour. I was able to get a good bit done while we did that. I know I had appointments yesterday, so I was out for most of the day, and my socks were brilliant for that. I brought my sock project with me, and I was able to get a good bit done on that. It's always fascinating when you're knitting in public. There was another lady at the appointment, and she was sitting up to one side and she was just sitting staring at me. She did eventually she did eventually ask me what I was knitting, because sometimes people won't. They'll sit and they'll look, and they won't ask. Sometimes they will. It's nice when they do. So yeah, no, she did. We had a conversation then over my knitting. So we did, which is always, I always find it amusing. It's brilliant when people do ask you, because they've, you know, it's interesting enough that it has caught their attention. So I prefer it nearly when they do say, "What are you knitting?" or "What are you doing?" rather than just sitting there staring. So I had that yesterday. Today actually my second eldest, he gets some exam results. He sat some state exams earlier in the summer, and the results of those come out today. So he's getting those later on today, and I know when I'm finished here I have to go and get some things, because we have to have a celebration for that. You know, it's not about the results, but it's about celebrating, putting in the effort, you know, and seeing the reward for the hard work. So I know we have that later on today. So some of the children are looking forward to that, because they'll get to stay up a little bit later while we do that. And as I said, my baby has started school, and she's getting it a little bit hard to settle in. She's fine when she gets in the door. She's having a little bit of trouble more with separation from Mammy. That's not the easiest thing to deal with. Some of the other children were a little like that, some were not. But I suppose for the last 2 years, she's been, while the others have been at school, she's been with me. So it's a little bit harder for her. So it is. So yeah, but we're getting there. And she is enjoying school. Like once she gets into the classroom, she's loving all the activities, and she's loving the extra stimulation from it, and she's enjoying it. It's just the separation thing we are having bother with, but hopefully in another couple of days now, she'll settle in a little bit better into that. I'm trying to think about any more plans for the rest of the week. That brings me up that far. No, I know my eldest is going tomorrow. He's going to see a Higher Options Sings, so he'll be going to kind of like a conference thing, and he'll be chatting with all the different colleges. They'll all come to it. So he'll be going, and he'll be discussing colleges with all of those. Yeah, because that's going to be happening in the next year. So it is. So he has to go, and he has to discuss all of that and find where his options lie, and what he can do and what he can't do. So he's doing that, and I think the rest of my week is clear at the moment. I've no major plans. Something might come up that I have to do, but that's okay. And as I said, I'll be gearing up for next week's release of the new collection. I'm really excited about that. I will be recording a little vlog segment where I'll introduce all of that, and that will go live on the channel here when the collection is released. And the collection is going to be released on Friday the 22nd of September. So if you keep an eye out on Ravelry or Instagram, if you find me anyway, you'll find it. I'll be talking about it. I really can't wait to share it with you. And once I'm finished recording here, I'm going to be recording that little vlog for you all, because I want to have that in order. And I do know that if you're going to Yarndale, you should be able to see the samples on the Eden Cottage Yarns stand at Yarndale. So that's a little surprise if you are going. I myself am not going, but I know that the collection is, so I'm kind of going, if that makes sense. So that I think is really all that I have for Chitty Chit Chat for this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to hit the like button, which is down there if you enjoyed it, and hitting the subscribe button please do that, because that's the only way to stay up to date with any new uploads to the channel. You'll get notified. Just make sure you turn on your notifications. So I hope you all have a very happy, relaxing, knit-filled week, and I will see you all again next week. Happy knitting. Bye.